All right, guys, you know that Hulk Hogan has passed away at the age of 71 due to cardiac arrest. Rest in peace to Hulkamania. Rest in peace to Hulk Hogan, real name Terry Bollea. I think he was less than a month shy of his 72th birthday in August 11th, I believe his birthday. But nonetheless, he definitely made an impact on the wrestling industry. There will be no wrestling won't be where it's at today. One for him. He definitely was a former WWE champion, former WCW champion. Had a run in New Japan, won the championship over there. He had a run in TNA, did a stint over there. Currently in a TV deal with Fox Nation that just was finalized to start freestyle wrestling alongside Eric Bischoff. Supposed to debut. I don't know what the status of that is now that he's no longer here with us. He just got married a couple years ago, turned his life over to God, got baptized. Other than that, rest in peace to Hulk Hogan. But the thing about it is, what we're gonna talk about. I got Good Brett alongside with me.
Hey,
Why
what's going
this?
on, guys?
Yeah, what's going on, Good Brett, man? You know, what we gonna talk about now? What is up with all the hatred towards Hulk Hogan that's no longer here? I see TikToks, I see videos. People saying that they don't feel bad that Hogan's gone. People saying that he deserved what he got and rest in peace, brother. All this nonsense going on. Like what for real? What is the whole purpose of this garbage? This man's no longer here. He's not coming back. I mean, he did his thing. He made his mistakes. I'm not saying he's perfect. Yeah, he did some things I don't approve of, but at least he tried to make amends at the end of the day, and that's it. But it's just seriously, why so much hatred towards Hogan? What's the purpose of all that?
Man, yo, let me say before we go any further that I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed to be a black man today. Like, I'm embarrassed for what I saw yesterday up and down my timeline. It's just an embarrassment because never once was I ever raised to disrespect the dead. I mean, the disrespect for the dead is just we are at an all-time low in the black community, and that's where I seen the most of the hatred and the disdain for Hulk Hogan. And I get it, I get it. Hulk Hogan been around for about 40, damn near almost 50 years. He's
Yep.
been the most consistent celebrity on our TVs. Think about it. If you're born in the 80s, I'm an 82 baby. So a lot of us we can relate to the greatness of Hulk Hogan. But I do understand that we got a lot of generations. It's generations now. We got the you know better than I do.
You
Hulk
got.
Hogan is from the
Mhm.
old school. He's from old school. He's from the classic era. We done had a bunch of eras, attitude, ruthless aggression. The list goes
PG
on. So
era, PG era, reality
right.
era, current era.
So so we know that a lot of people might not know Hulk Hogan's greatness, so they just jump on the bandwagon of what they see because it's a lot of that going on. It's a lot of monkey see, monkey doing. A lot of people that speaking ill of Hulk Hogan never seen Hulk Hogan in his greatness transcend the sport of wrestling as we know it.
True.
Because a lot of the people that they might root for would not be in the position that they are in if it wasn't for Hulk Hogan. That's what makes it embarrassing. That's what makes it like it's foul. I understand we're in an era where we root for the bad guys, and Hulk Hogan is a big part of that. When he changed into NWO, we'll get to that. We're going to try to do the whole timeline for those of you that might not know Hulk Hogan's greatness from start to finish. We'll get to it, but he transcended the rooting for the bad guy. He kind of made that really really cool because Stone Cold Steve Austin was always babyface. Stone Cold Steve Austin wasn't the one that made everybody root for the bad guys. Stone Cold was a tweener slash babyface. He wasn't a heel,
Yeah, he
but
was an
Hulk Hogan was
anti-hero.
a heel.
Anti-hero, yeah.
Right, Hulk Hogan was a heel. So With that said, we could get started, man. We get started with the details. KDH, when was the first time? What was your first? What was the first time you saw Hulk Hogan, or how did you discover Hulk Hogan, or what?
I discovered him when he came back. Like he was like in like '93, whatever. When I remember the whole Bret Hart thing when he beat Yoko for the
Oh,
I remember that era. I remember the red and yellow was very end of Hulkamania. I do remember when he went to WCW, he started with the Hulkster. He was red and yellow over there. He was the Hulkster because he couldn't use Hulkamania at the time. I guess he didn't own the name at the time. And then he switched to the black, like you said, the Hollywood Hogan at Bassett Beach '96. You know, and then that just that was a big game changing event for the whole revolutionary of wrestling. And then he had us run there till that ended, and he came back, had the classic match with Rock at WrestleMania 18 Toronto, and then he had a
yeah.
few matches with Triple H. He won the belt. Then a few with Undertaker, where he lost about the Undertaker. They did the Miss America thing, and then he made it. Then he went off and did his own thing. He had a lot of business. He did the reality show. He did a lot of business that he started. Some were successful, some were not. And then he did. Then he
Right.
went TNA. Then he did TNA thing. And then he did that for a while. Then then pretty much we getting later in his history. Then we get into the part where he's hated like he is now. You know, we get into that.
So, what would you say is your most significant moment? What is your Hulk Hogan moment? The moment where Hulk Hogan like stands out. When you think of Hulk Hogan, what moment pop in your head?
Oh, you saying all his moments? Always him pressing Andre Giant over his head. I mean, that's like one of the biggest moments in wrestling.
You say what you said?
When he pressed Andre Giant over his head at
WrestleMania 3. Yeah,
WrestleMania 3.
a lot of people say that. My biggest moment for Hulk Hogan was that twin referee. That twin
Oh
referee
yeah.
match on Saturday Night Main Event, well, which was Friday Night Main Event. 33 million views, guys. 33 million people watched that wrestling show. That it doesn't happen without Hulk Hogan. It
And
does
pretty
not
much he
happen.
made Saturday's main event. He made that show too, and not look how that came back. He made that show as
Absolutely.
well.
So now my first notice of Hulk Hogan is going to be WrestleMania 2. WrestleMania 2 is when like I understood what was going on. I was little. I was young. I had to be about 4 years old, but I still got the memories of it because WrestleMania 2 is what made me go to the video rental store. Yes, before Netflix, we had video rental
Yep.
stores.
VHS.
So WrestleMania 2 made me go to the video rental store and pick up WrestleMania 1. And WrestleMania 1 had Mr. T, who I was familiar with because I was watching the 18. And it also had Hulk Hogan on the cover. And that's when I picked it up and I watched it. And that's when I want to say wrestling was like born for me. I was like a wrestling head every Christmas. I got wrestling toys. I mean, right now, to this day, it's not in good condition because my little cousin put the damn toy on the radiator. And if you know, like I know, back in the days, the wrestling figures, the action figures was big and rubber. They were big and rubber. They didn't flex. The ligaments didn't flex or nothing. They just was big and rubber. And Hulk Hogan, his first doll, Hulk Hogan's first official toy was the all white Hulk Hogan. He had the white trunks and he had the white boots, the AWA Hulk Hogan. And that's a good segue to segue into how Hulk Hogan started, guys. Hulk Hogan started out baseball. He was a baseball player. He wanted to play baseball and he ended up trying out for his team, high school, and he played a little bit, but then got injured. I mean, and take this with a grain of salt. I just did my research. You know, if Hogan got anything to do with the research, you want to definitely take it with a grain of salt because Hogan be lying. That's another big part of the reason why people are bashing him. But he played baseball. He hurt his elbow, from what I'm understanding, and that was the end of his baseball run. And then he went to music, and he was a
Ooh, I
bass
didn't know that.
player.
Okay.
Yeah, he was a bass
I
player.
know that much about the music. Okay.
Yeah, he started. He actually wanted to be a musician. He thought he was a rock and roll star. He did not like physical sports. I learned that. Hulk Hogan did not like contact sports, which makes him becoming a wrestler, the greatest wrestler of all time, kind of crazy, right? But yeah, he didn't
Hmm.
like contact sports. So he wanted to be a bass player. And he actually started a group. I forgot the name, and I'm not looking at my notes right now, but he started a group, and they played
Oh
in
wow.
Tampa. Yeah, they played in some
Yeah, he's
clubs
from
in Tampa.
Florida. He was from Florida. Yeah.
Yeah. So can you look up the group name? The group that group that I'm talking about. His
I'm gonna look it up
music group,
now.
his band's name.
I'm gonna
So
look it up
yeah,
now.
he made them. They performed at local nightclubs. Simultaneously, as he was doing that, the Briscoe brothers, Jack and his brother, the Briscoes, they stopped by that. They stopped by the little
Oh,
lounge,
okay.
and that's how Hulk Hogan was discovered. They pitched that he should be a wrestler, and Hulk
Back in the
Hogan,
old days.
yeah, Hulk Hogan. At first, he was like, nah, but then he started to see that these guys live like rock and roll stars. And if you notice the trend, that's all Hogan. All Hogan wanted to do was make money.
Oh, okay.
If it making money, then Hogan was with it. So
And
Hogan
then
actually
I
wrote the
got the
name
name.
of it.
The name is the Ruckus. The Ruckus.
Yeah, that
And
was the
then
name of the band, the Ruckus.
he had another called Hulk Hogan in the wrestling boot band. I didn't know that.
Oh,
Okay. Yeah,
right.
two groups. He's
So
in two groups.
his group Ruckus, they're performing. The Briscoes come in, they pitch him and sell him on the idea of becoming a wrestler. So Hulk Hogan started his wrestling journey in 1974, guys. 1974, Hogan took his first crack at wrestling, and he was trained by Killer Kowalski. He was trained by one of the famous trainers over
That's
in
the same guy that trained Triple H. Phil Kowalski
yes,
trained Triple H in China and
yes,
China. Yeah.
yes. So Hogan got his start, and it was a rough start because they broke his leg the first day in practice. They broke his leg to see if he would come back, to see how real he was with wrestling. And obviously, he was real because Hogan came back. And
Yeah, after 10 weeks of rehab. Yes, after 10 weeks
hmm
he returned to train with Hiro Matsushita. He's a New Japan guy.
yep. So that's how Hogan got his initial start and his initial break. And mind you, guys, Hogan was getting paid pennies. Hogan was getting paid nothing. So when it comes to paying his dues, if y'all think he just hit the scene and Vince just gave him all of this money and that's why y'all hate him because he rich, because you know in the black community they have a eat the rich mentality, and that's not good. But yeah, Hogan worked for it. He worked for it. So he got his first shot with WWF. And I want y'all to understand, this was in the territory days. This wrestling was still just local. Wrestling wasn't national like it is now.
That's
So
true.
but Hulk Hogan was one of the unique guys that could go to every territory and draw money. He could go to every territory and draw money. He was down with Vince McMahon Sr. and then came the Rocky movie and the Thunderlips. A lot of y'all might not remember that, but Hulk Hogan was also one of the first pro wrestlers in the movie business.
And film. Yep.
Right. He did Rocky. He did the Rocky movie where he played Thunderlip for $15,000. And I mean, it was a nice 15,000 because it was not even a big role.
I remember
Short role.
because he met in the book I did on my channels. I played his book, and he mentioned about that. He mentioned the movie and how he left. Vince McMahon Senior didn't want him to do it. He left, and he went to do it anyway. Say he couldn't miss on the opportunity,
Right.
and he agreed
Absolutely
to do
correct.
it. And he agreed to do it, so he had to do it anyway. With Hollywood, can't just say no like that and go do it.
Right. Right. They originally wanted to give him 10,000, he reached for 15, and they settled at 14. So that's a correction. $14,000 for that movie. So then, like you said, I'm gonna piggyback off of what you said. Vince Senior fired
Hmm.
Hulk Hogan, fired him,
Yep.
and that gave Vern Gagne a chance over in AWA because again, we are in the territories. So Vern Gagne got a chance to have Hulk Hogan, but Vern Gagne never saw the vision with Hulk Hogan. Vern Gagne was more of a Nick Bockwinkel guy. He was more of a
Yeah.
traditionalist.
True.
He wanted to run with the old. They run with the old until they ride the old folks until their wheels fall off. So that was that. Then after AWA fumbles Hulk Hogan, Vince Jr. comes up and he buys the company from his dad, and he have a vision because he saw what Hulk Hogan did in the Rocky movie. He saw that Hulk Hogan has the potential to be the big thing for his company. And this is where AEW is going wrong at right now because they never got that larger than life star and ride that motherfucker back. You supposed to get it. When you're a new company, all you need is one. You don't need a stable foot. All you need is one larger than life athlete, and you ride his back. And that's what Vince did for the first 6 years in WWF after Hogan took the title from Iron Sheik. You know what I mean? Iron Sheik was the champion. Iron Sheik took the belt from Bob Backlund, and they put the title on Iron Sheik because Iraq and Iran and America, they were going through something at the time. So it was perfect timing, and it was a good cosplay on what was going on in reality. So Vince was smart on that. He jumped on it, and he made Hulk Hogan the great American hero, and he goes against the foreign Iraqi menace, and Hogan won at Madison Square Garden. The crowd popped, and Hulkamania was born. So and that's going to be in the 80s, guys. So I understand how a lot of the 90s people or the people that just came on that watch CM Punk, and that's their guy. And, you know what I mean? 'Cause we all got our own guys because of when we started to watch. Who made us watch? A lot of people, the Hardy Boys, y'all didn't watch wrestling until the Hardy Boys, and so those are gonna be your guys, and I get that. But Hogan definitely put in the work, and him and Vince took over. Want to add anything, K? TBK?
Yeah, I mean, you pretty much spot on with everything. He put wrestling on the map, like I said before. He also was known. He was a part of that era. I want to add too for guaranteed contract. He was a part of that era too.
That's
They can
facts.
guarantee the Kevin Nash and Scott Hall and them guys. He came from that era too. Well, for that, these guys won't be getting a big contract they get again today. Won't be none of that.
Right. So
So
so from there, Hulk Hogan had a first loss. The first loss and another iconic moment. I got three iconic moments. I already gave you guys one with the twin referees. Now my second is gonna be him versus the Ultimate Warrior. Now everybody started to take a liking to the Ultimate Warrior because we had 5 years of Hulk Hogan. So everybody started to shift a little. Hulk Hogan started to wind down because we got this Ultimate Warrior guys. And I mean, he was dope. He was colorful. He was everything Hulk Hogan wasn't, but he was a good guy. So we got the passing of the torch moment. WrestleMania 6. He passed the torch to Ultimate Warrior. Ultimate Warrior had the belt for about 200 some days. Real lackluster run for Ultimate Warrior because everybody that he fought when he was the Intercontinental Champion, he ended up having to fight again on the main event scene. So like he had to fight Ravishing Rick Rude. He didn't have a lot of opponents for the Ultimate Warrior. So Ultimate Warrior ended up losing, dropping the title to Sergeant Slaughter. Again, another Iraqi sympathizer. Vince McMahon, he goes to the well a lot. He rinse and repeat a lot. So unlike the Iron Sheik this time, he used Sergeant Slaughter, and we had WrestleMania 7, where Hulk Hogan takes the belt back from Sergeant Slaughter, and Hulk Hogan is back in the company. But like I told you before, Hulkamania pretty much was dying. After WrestleMania 5 and the Mega Powers, the Hulkamania as we know it, because I skipped the part 2, guys, I'm sorry. During this whole thing, we got the steroid scandal, guys. And that's when the crack in Hulk Hogan armor started to show for the first time to the people. Because he went on the Arsenio Hall show, and I don't know why. To this day, nobody can explain why did you do that? But Hulk Hogan went and lied, blatant lied to us. Tried to tried to use his words carefully, but it was a lie because a couple months later he had to testify and understand that he didn't just use steroids for injuries and to heal. He used it because everybody was using it, and it was the only way you was going to keep your position in the company. So he had that whole thing. That that is what took Vince away from Hogan. Vince was high on Hogan, and Vince would use it his best. But that steroid scandal and Hulk Hogan, Vince started to go a
Yeah,
whole
you're
new
right.
direction
Definitely took a
because,
lot away.
hmm
I agree.
and he went in a whole new direction, and this
Um,
direction he went
Not about
all right.
Hogan, he um he helped bring back publicity of wrestling. You get good, but you get bad too. You know what I mean? With all the steroid stuff going on too, with
Yeah, because
testifying and everything.
you had to kill the Hogan character
Got
because
a lot of
you can't have somebody
bad
saying,
stuff on.
yeah, you can't have a
That's
man
what I was going
saying,
to add
say your
to
prayers.
that.
Guys, say that again, clear it up. Yeah, you had to kill that character because you can't have your superhero or the company saying say your prayers and eat your vitamins, but in the tabloids he's popping steroids, and that wasn't gonna work. That wasn't gonna go over well. But he lost. He took a hit. His reputation took a hit right there, and he came back to the company though. But the very next year, guys, he left again. WrestleMania 8 will be the last time we see Hulk Hogan in WWF until the 2000s.
After the merger of the WCW, that's when we saw him.
Yep. And so after he left WWF, he dabbled in some TV ventures, like you said. He had that Paradise, where he had that Thunder in Paradise show, and it flopped. Like all his movies flopped. All his movies was cool, and I watched every single one of them except for the Nanny. I didn't watch that, but everything else I watched, it flopped. But Hulk Hogan was that significant that you watch because you never seen a pro wrestler move like that in movies. The cover of Sports Illustrated. He is still today the first and only wrestler to grace the cover of Sports Illustrated.
Not even a Rock. Wow, not even a Rock did
Yeah.
that.
And I'm glad you say The Rock, right? Because this is where the people get confused with The Rock and Hulk Hogan. Reason why Hulk Hogan is the greatest of all time is because he did this while being a wrestler. He did this while being in a wrestling company, while being under the WWE banner. The Rock got his greatness outside of wrestling. The
As
Rock
an
got
actor,
great outside of wrestling. Yeah,
yep, an
his
actor.
wrestling career is quite mediocre. It's good. I'm not gonna shit on it, but it was too short to even compare to a Hulk Hogan. And he got all his accolades and he got all his attention not being in the ring. So that's what makes it a little bit different between The Rock and Hulk Hogan. But now Hulk Hogan goes to WCW now. We never thought we would see this. This is WWF. Hulk Hogan was WWE. And then to see him in the rivals Man, that was crazy, but it made people watch. It got eyeballs over on WCW television, and not anybody can do that. One person move, one person get moved, get traded, and then all the viewership go like that. That shows you how great Hulk Hogan was. But like you said, that he started out over there in WCW with the red and yellow, and it was getting old. It was getting old. It was getting tiresome. Nobody was liking it, and he went into the reinvention chamber and came out NWO. And I mean, that is the greatest heel turn of all time.
I'll never forget. Who's the third man? Who's the third man? And it being Hogan. I'll never forget that. Who's the third man?
Absolutely. Yo,
And another thing I want to add
this,
too.
all right,
Um,
hold on. Can you pause this real quick, and then we pick back up with it with a part two?
yeah, we'll stop here. Let's more to discuss
Uh,
about Hulk Hogan.
yeah, yeah, we're gonna pick back up with it with a part two.
All
I
right
gotta
then.
get in.
All right, guys. This is part one. And in part one, we'll give
Yeah,
it
no,
come back.
we'll cut it. We'll cut it right. We'll cut it at that silence, and then just come right back in with the part two.
Okay.